Hello everyone, I am Sam from Weekly Abductions. I figured since I talk about ARK a lot in most of our videos, I'd bring you a video of the top 10 dinosaurs that I like in ARK. And what I mean by dinosaurs, because technically ARK considers them all dinosaurs, I'm talking about like actual dinosaurs. I'll have videos of like the other species, my top 10 versions of those later on. But right now we're going to start with the dinosaurs. And I'm going to start with number 10. So number 10, I chose the Diplodocus. I mean, when you face it in ARK, it's a sauropod, but in that game, it's unlike the Bronto. If you attack it, it's not going to essentially kill you. What it does is it just pushes you with its head, which you can take fall damage if you get knocked off of like a high place. But it doesn't actually hurt you. It just kind of like pushes you around. But the cool thing about them is when you tame them, once you get a saddle for them, you can have up to 10 survivors on its back at one time. So you can have it carrying around a bunch of people. So if you like pumped its stats full of weight and health, you can go like pretty far distances, like with a group, like if you're going to like raid a base or something. Put it as number 10 just because some of the other ones are more fiercer, but like it's definitely one to be recognized. Next one is going to be number 9. I chose the Kentrosaurus. The Kentrosaurus is like, in the game itself, is like a small scale, like kind of stego-like creature. And it has like a bunch of spikes on the back of it and protruding out of its side. And it is a Giga Slayer because it can kill a Giganotosaurus if it's a high enough level with a high enough melee and also health. You have to attack it a lot, and when you attack one of those creatures from another tame, if you're not careful enough, it could potentially kill your tame because you take thorn damage from it when you're attacking it. So it is a really nice tame to have. You cannot ride these ones, they just follow you, but they're all a really good tame to have if you're up against like a bunch of guys that have gigas. But depending on how they pump theirs, it could kill yours too, so you gotta be very careful. Number 8, I'm choosing the Allosaurus, which this isn't known in actual facts, but in the game ARK, Allosauruses are like pack hunters. So they're like raptors or the dire wolves of the game, which they have a pack leader. The highest level one is the leader, and the other ones kind of follow it and give the others a buff from it being the leader. They're definitely a formidable foe if they creep up on you, or if you have a big enough pack to where they can definitely do lethal damage. Definitely a formidable foe because they are fast and definitely agile. For number 7, I chose the Gallimimus. Kind of a hard tame to knock out because it's a fast, agile one, so it runs really fast. It's hard to like force it into a taming pin, but it is doable depending on how you do it. Or you do it airily from on top of like another flying tame. The Gallimimus is a good one because it's very agile and very fast, and you can pump up its movement speed, and you can basically outrun a lot of tames, mostly all tames with the Gallimimus. There's only a few that can kind of keep up with it in speed, but this one can also have 3 people on its saddle. It's really helpful because you can either carry a couple of people if you need to make a quick escape because they can be pumped up with movement speed and they can run really fast. If you have weight and movement speed on those ones along with like some health so it doesn't get killed by long shots of people with sniper rifles or any of that, you can use that to like dip away or also tame a lot of creatures like other ones that like kind of try and run away from you, or carnivores that are trying to eat you, and then you can like kind of move forward out of its like biting range and knock them out for either yourself, your tribe, or friends that you're helping out on the server that are in different tribes. So for number 6, I'm going to choose the good old Raptor because the Raptor is a really good tame. It's again another fast one. If you build it right, it can keep up with a Gallimimus, or at least close to keeping up with it. The Gallimimus does outrun it by like a good amount, but you can make the raptor pretty fast because the raptors can be pretty fast. They also have a leap attack, so if you find them in the wild, they can leap on you and like pin you down and then eat you, but you can also do that to other players too if you wanted to catch up with them. So they're a nice, quick, fast tame, a good one to get like early on in the game as well, just because they are pretty powerful, they're really fast, and they also move in packs just like the Allosaurus that I mentioned earlier. They're another pack hunter with pack buffs. As we all know, raptors are pack hunters. The Allosaurus one is just very interesting, but the raptors are pack hunters, and they're a really nice kind of early tame. So number 5 is like the Jurassic Park series, the one that they just like are kind of pushing aside and making it seem like it doesn't exist, but it's the Spinosaurus. In the game, the Spinosaurus is good tame. It's kind of more of a mid-game tame to capture, but it is definitely a very powerful one because it can swim, it can go underwater for a little while. It's definitely a good swimmer, which in the movie it was a good swimmer in there too. It's very powerful, very big, has a saddle. The saddle kind of looks goofy on top of it, but I mean, with that giant sail that it has, it would be kind of weird to put a saddle on it anyway, so they have it in a good spot, but it still kind of looks a little ridiculous, but it is a good tame. It's a very powerful tame as well. It is definitely a good one to have. Very strong. Beastly. Number 4 is a Bronto. This one was kind of hard because like I kind of wanted to put the Spino at 4, but I chose the Bronto as number 4 just because, for one, you could put a base on top of it. It's a very good collector of like wood, berries, all things, because like its giant tail sweep will just like knock a bunch of stuff out. There is other dinosaurs that are more efficient at it, but it's a good kind of, it is possible to tame early game with just trank arrows. I've done it before. It's not the best if you're trying to go for max level taming and like breeding in that, but it is possible to get those early on in the game. The saddles come a little bit later, but at least the platform saddle comes definitely a lot later, but you can get the normal saddle like kind of more a quarter into the game. You can unlock the saddle for those, and then they're really nice because then you can use them to harvest a bunch of stuff, so then you're not hand doing it. But there's others you can get that do it more efficiently as well. But if you wanted just like quick berries, it's a very good one to choose. So number 3 is our good old pal, the T-Rex, or Tyrannosaurus Rex, however you would like to call it. This is a really good tame, kind of the best tame for boss battles. This is a tame you would get later game when you're trying to do the boss missions and fight bosses, because you can, unlike some of the other ones, they have like a good weight, and if you find good weights, you can get a pair of those that are good weighted and then breed those pairs, and then you can just make an army of T-Rexes and then use them in boss battles. They have a saddle, and they have a tech saddle you can get later on that can shoot lasers and all crazy kind of stuff in the game, but they're definitely really good. Their roars will kind of put enemies in fear for a little bit. It'll make you poo yourself, like your character will poo. There is another one that does that too, which is the Utai, but it is a really good tame for boss battles and a good one to breed. And if you wanted like a really good pair, you can max level tame one of these and then breed those, and then you can get all sorts of buffs for it, where you can get like a health or damage buff on them, and then you can get multiples of those and make them like a insane thing like you can do with all dinosaurs. But this is a good one to do it with because it's not, they haven't really changed its power very much, unlike another one I'm gonna mention. Because of it being too OP, they're just really strong, and they're good tames to have. They also have like a boss one that you can fight that you can get good gear from. Can't tame those ones, unfortunately. They would be really cool, but the alpha T-Rexes are definitely a formidable foe. Now we go to number 2. Number 2 is Keegan's favorite dinosaur, the Giganotosaurus. So the Giganotosaurus is a really good tame to get in the game. It's very difficult to get this tame. Usually the trick with it is behemoth gates and kind of trap it in the behemoth gates and then be on a high point to shoot down at it. It wakes up pretty quickly, so you have to be prepared to get this tame, like either with kibble or prime meat and then a bunch of narcotics to keep it passed out. But it is a very strong one. It did get a buff on it because it was a little bit too powerful, and so it doesn't level up like the others do. But you can still make them very, very strong if you would like it. The roars sound really cool, just like most of the dinosaurs in there. Lots of people run in fear because the thing with Giganotosaurus is once you see it in the wild, like it could be pretty far away, but if it notices you, you can like turn around for 1 second and then it's already on top of you and it just kills you instantly. And if it doesn't kill you, its bleed damage will, because the bleed damage lasts for a long time and it's not fun. Lost lots of tames to them. Before I go to number 1, I'm going to talk about an honorable mention that I wanted to put in here, but there was some just other more this one's very beneficial too. Like, I want some of these lists to be longer just because there's so many good ones in there, but 10 is the max because that's how everybody likes to do it. But the honorable mention will be the Tyrannus. The Tyrannus is another really good tame because its roar puts a lot of tames in fear, and then it also like buffs your guys so that they attack faster and like are stronger. It's a really good buffer for that because you can have it set to just like kind of hold position and just constantly roaring inside your base and giving your guys a constant buff. So it's like a target to get before they mess with any of the other tames that you have in there. But yes, that's the honorable mention because it's a really good one and I wanted to put it into this list anyway. But now, number 1. The original Jurassic Park Parasaurolophus. Number 1 is the Titanosaurus. So it is a boss. It's a mini kind of boss of the map. It is tameable for a short period of time unless you mess with the settings to make it so that you can keep that. There's only one on the map, and it's on the map for like a little bit of time, either before it gets killed or before the timer's up to spawn another one. They spawn very low levels. I think the most I've seen was like a level 10, and that was like really rare. I haven't seen any higher than that, besides force spawning in higher ones just to see what their stats were like. But they are a really good tame. Very difficult tame to knock out because the easiest way is either rockets or cannons. Rockets has the potential to kill them. Cannons are your best bet, but that is very difficult. The ways we've done it is cannons on the back of a Quetzalcoatlus and just firing at it. Lots of us died in those processes too. It is a very difficult one to get, but you could build one of the largest bases on the back of its back for essentially raid. It's a raid boss. So it's something you get when you want to raid like a big tribe. If you want to go through the process of doing that, because it takes a lot of time and people might notice. But it is a very good one to have. It is very fun to see how much you can build on its back. I've tested that a good amount of times, but there's some other ones that I want to try with it, but it is a very, very good tame to have. Definitely very more late game tame. Thank you for watching my top 10 list of my Ark Survival Evolved the game's dinosaurs. If you want to see more top 10 lists, check out this link right up over here. If you want to see more from Culz Paranormal, check the link right over here. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. And switch that notification bell from personalized to all if you'd like to be notified in any of our upcoming videos. Thank you, and let me know in the comments which dinosaurs is your favorite. Oh, and be sure to let Keegan know I said Giga.
What?